So what is in my stock market portfolio this week? So before I start, you'll notice that the thumbnail of the video, the total balance increased. It's not necessarily because of gains, but mostly because I've added money to my account. So I've contributed to my accounts, and that's what increases the total portfolio. But eventually, when the market corrects itself or rallies back, I should have some profitable trades. All right, so in my margin account this week, I bought a bunch of things. First of all, I bought Apple at $195, which closed at $193.53 on Friday. I had a chance to buy some more at around $184. It didn't reach $184, but it came very close. But in case it drops, if it does drop some more, I'm definitely gonna buy some more Apple, just because Warren Buffett bought Apple and it's currently his biggest holding right now. I think about 25%. I personally don't like Apple products, but I can still acknowledge that it is doing very great. I mean, it's got the biggest market cap, first one to reach $1 trillion market cap in the States. And although CNBC and all these reporters and analysts are making a big deal about the fact that Apple won't be announcing the number of units sold during earnings reports, and how it is a lack of transparency, and that's probably, they're saying that's the reason why the stock is dropping, because the fact that they want to withhold the units sold, which to me is not a big deal, because what matters at the end is profits. So as long as profits are increasing every quarter or even every year, whether they've sold less units and increased the price of every unit, I think at the end of the day, it's all about the profits. If they were able to sell at a higher price, well, good for them. The consumer accepted to pay that price. So sometimes I find that CNBC comes up, only talks about the bad news or exaggerates the bad news, which sometimes could have an effect on the market. Regardless, so I bought Apple this week at $195. We'll see what happens. Hold it as long as I have to. We'll probably sell it at around $230. Not gonna hold it long term. It pays 1.5% dividend, and even if the dividends increase, it's gonna increase to what, 3% max. So it's not something I want to hold long term. Just want to make a quick 10% profit, but I wanted to do it with something that I can trust, something that I'm confident is not going to disappear or go bankrupt. I also bought some Amazon, about one share of Amazon at $1,600. This is a stock I definitely wanted to buy. It's a stock I'm very confident will reach 2,000 and more. They keep growing. They just announced where they're going to place their 2 new warehouses. So it's just a company that just keeps growing. So definitely wanted to participate in the uptrend. Definitely see it discounted at this price right now, especially that it was trading close to 2,000 not long ago. I bought some Bombardier shares at $2, closing at $167. So I'm down 16% on the shares, but I also sold covered calls against them. So I collecting $45 from it, which is about 4.5% on my $1,000 investment. So I'm down about 1% on Apple, down 0.5% on Amazon, down 16% on the Bombardier shares, but I made up 4% with the premium calls. Could probably buy more Bombardier shares next week if it reaches probably 150, and then probably sell more covered calls on that. I bought some Blackstone at $32. I bought this because it's at a 52-week low, and also, or close to a 52-week low, and it pays about 7% dividends. So it's got good potential capital gain and pays good dividends while I wait for the stock to go back up. I'm up 1.5% on that one. I bought some Dollarama at $35. I'm up 0.5% on that. So although an article came out probably 2 weeks ago that Dollarama is growing way too fast and they've got too much debt and that their items are priced way too high, they have a lot of items priced more than $1. I still think that it has good potential, and I think the stock will go back up, just because I see around me that the stores keep growing, they keep renovating, and they keep opening new stores, and the services in store are great as well. So it pays very little difference, but capital gain wise, I think there's potential. So I bought some at 35. I also bought some GE at 7.85, closing at 8, so I'm up 2% on that already. But I sold covered calls against it. Covered calls expiring December 28, 2018. So with a strike price of 9, so if GE does reach 9 before December 28, 2018, great, I'm going to sell at 9. If not, I'll just keep selling covered calls again. But yeah, GE I'll hold as long as I have to and just sell whenever I make a decent gain. I bought some Groupon here at $2.90, closing at 3.02, so I'm up 4% already on Groupon. I also sold covered calls on this stock January 18, 2019 at a strike price of 3.5. So if it reaches 3.5 before January 18, 2019, the shares will sell automatically, giving me about, I think, 17% capital gain, which I'm happy with, plus the premiums that I already collected by selling the covered calls. And if it doesn't reach 3.5 before January 18, 2019, then I'll still own the shares and I could just repeat the process and sell some more covered calls. I bought some Nvidia Friday at 163.5, closing at 164.43, so I'm up 0.5% on that. Now Nvidia is a great chip maker and it's got great potential. It's got a great brand, great product, quality products, and it's a stock that was trading in the 200s, and even in the 200s, analysts were saying that it was a great buy. So at this price, I definitely see it as a discount. Doesn't pay any dividends, but it's got great capital gain potential, so I'll hold it as long as I have to. Bought Qualcomm, also great chip maker, bought at 54.5, closing at 55.8, so I'm already up 2.5% on that. I bought some TransCanada Corporation at $51, closing at 52.56, so I'm already up 3% on that. Bought it because it's near a 52-week low and it pays pretty good dividends. And I bought some Vermilion Energy at 32.50, closing at 33.11, so I'm already up close to 2% on that. And I bought it also because it's trading at a 52-week low and it pays very good dividends. So out of these stocks, the ones that I'd probably be ready to buy more of is Apple and Bombardier. So in my TFSA, nothing has changed at all. Still got Ford shares that I bought at $10.95, closing at 9.05. I'm down 17%. Got the Ford options that I bought at $1. It actually reached $1 this week, but I've got a sell order at $1.25. So I still own the options and I'm down 19%. I've got Facebook shares that I bought at 168 initially, closing at 139.53, so I'm down close to 17%. And I've got AT&T that I bought at $32, closing at 30.29. I'm down 5%, so I'm pretty much down on everything in my TFSA. But I've got Ford and AT&T that pay dividends. So in my RSP account, I've got Alibaba shares that I bought at 164. It rallied nicely this week, closing at 154, so I'm down 6% only. Got Bank of Nova Scotia that I bought at 71.8, closing at 70.97. I'm down 1%. Got Dividend 15 Split Corp 2 that I bought at an average price of 4.5, closing at 4. I'm down 11%. Got Dividend 15 Split Corp that I bought at 7.99, closing at 8.35. I'm up 4.5%. This stock I was up probably 16% 3 weeks ago, but I didn't sell because I want to sell it at $10. And I'm collecting dividends on that. I'll show you later. I've got some more Ford shares that I bought at $10, closing at 9.05, so I'm down 9.5% on that. Got some Ford options that I bought at $1.50, closing at 81 cents. I'm down 46%. Got Facebook. I bought some Facebook. I believe that was a while back. I bought it at 145, closing at 139.53. But I've got an order to buy some more at 135, which came close this week on Friday. I think it reached like 137. So I almost bought some more Facebook at 135 this week. We'll see what happens next week. So I'm down 4% on Facebook. I've got GM that I bought at 34. Reached 2 weeks ago 37. Could have sold it, but I had an order at 37.50, and instead it's been dropping and almost came close to 34, but closed at 35.75, so I'm up 5%. But at some point I was at 9% on this stock. Regardless, I'll keep it. I'm not worried about it. Pays dividends. And it's a stock on Warren Buffett's portfolio, so not worried about it. I've got Honda Motor here that I bought at 29.3, closing at 28.21, down. So I'm down 3.5% on that. Pays dividends, and really not worried about this stock. If anything, if it reaches 26, I'll probably buy more of. I've got Vodafone. I'm very disappointed that I had a chance to buy at 18.5 this week. I canceled the order, and on that same day it reached that price. The next day it went up almost 10%, and it was trading in the 20s. So it could have made 10% in one day, or I could have just kept it an average, would have had a new lower average price for Vodafone. Pays about 8% dividends per year. So I'm down 14% on Vodafone, but disappointing I missed out because I canceled an order last minute, and if I hadn't canceled it, I would have been in a much better position with Vodafone. So if we look at some dividends that I received in Questrade, so November 9th, I got some dividend 15 split corp. I got $16.10, so it's 10 cents per share, and that's every month. November 11th, I got some AT&T, $13.60 US. And then back in September, I had some WestJet. So the ones in November were only AT&T and dividend 15 split corp. So on my Investor's Edge side, in my RESP, I still have the AltaGas that I bought at 14.73 about, closing at 15.75. So I'm profitable on that. Bought it because it's at a 52-week low and it pays 10% dividends per year. Got Bank of Nova Scotia that I bought at 76 in this account, closing at 71. Barclays that dropped hard this week, so not too happy about it. I bought it at $9, closing at, I believe it closed at 8.5, but it actually reached 9.3 this week, but it finished the week at 8.4 or 8.5. But it pays decent dividends, so I'll hold it as long as I have to. Dollarama, I bought it at 40.7 in this account, closing at 35, so not doing too well. And of course, I've got Enbridge that I've been holding forever, but it pays about 7% dividend, so I'm okay with that. On the TFSA side, I still have Synovus Energy that I bought at 15, closing at 10.67. I've got Dividend 15 Split Corp 2 that I bought at 5.17, closing at 4.01. I've got Enbridge again that I bought at 48 or 46, I believe, closing at 42.68, and Hudson Bay that I bought at 13.5, closing at 7.48. So definitely after the holidays, the stock is going to go up, but probably not going to reach 13.5. So I don't know what's going on with this. Good thing I only put in $1,000, but I don't like selling at a loss, so I'll just keep it as long as I have to until it recovers. It pays very little dividends. On the US side, I've got some General Electric that I bought at 17, closing at 8, so beautiful. Got Kraft Heinz that I bought at 75, closing at 52. I could probably buy some more Kraft Heinz at 50 if it reaches 50 again. Got New York Mortgage Trust that I bought at 6, closing at 6.12, and this is just a stock I'm going to keep for dividends. It's a real estate investment trust in the US. Pays about 13% dividends. And I've got Orange Communication that I bought at 15.75, closing at 16.73. So I'm already slightly up on that, but it pays also close to 8% dividends per year. And since I've got more than 100 shares in New York Mortgage Trust, I'm going to try to sell covered calls against it and just keep collecting. And since it's a stock I don't plan on selling, I could just choose a high strike price, let's say 7 or 750, and just keep selling covered calls on that. So it's an extra income in addition to the dividends that I'm receiving with this stock. So if we look at the dividends I received in the last 45 days with Investor's Edge, all in October, I got some dividends from New York Mortgage Trust, $68. I got dividends from General Electric, $7, and I got dividends from Hudson's Bay, not even $1. And on the RESP side, I got $1.32 from Dollarama, and I got $10 from Bank of Nova Scotia. So these were the stocks I bought this week, and that's what was in my stock market portfolio this week. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Any stock tips as well, leave them in the comments below. So remember, I have no problem sharing the stocks that I buy, but it's still up to you. It's still up to you to make your own research. I mean, I've got my reasons for buying these stocks, and I'm willing to take the risk if they're bad decisions because they affect me only. But I have no problem sharing them because sometimes it could give you an idea of a stock to look at or a stock that's similar to it. But you still have to do your own research and pick the right price. I mean, as you can see, I haven't been picking the best prices all the time. And like always, if you're going to open an account with Questrade to trade on the stock market, use my referral code in the description below the video so you can get between $25 and $250 depending on your deposit. Thanks for watching.